This is just a video to show you the darling. We've travelled 600 k's up here to throw some thirsty lures, and this is the longest hole we've found, and the amount of fish that have died and were found on the bank. We're at a guy called Rob's property. How you going, Rob?
Go, mate. How you going?
All right. What's the name of your station?
Tulano Station. So it's one of the oldest stations in the Western Division. Dates back about 170 years. I guess what we want to say to the people, to the fishermen, you've got 1,500 kilometres of river like this. This is the worst environmental disaster in our country's history, and it's totally man-made. This has got nothing to do with drought. This is government policy of destroying the Menindee Lakes and in return destroying the Darling River. So for the fishermen out there, you've got to understand the Menindee Lakes were effectively the last great breeding ground of the Murray cod. Now, when they came out of there over the last 30 million years, they were able to come down the river and feed and survive and expand their numbers. It's collapsing now. So to the fishermen of Australia, you could well lose the golden perch. 80% came out of the Menindee Lakes of the whole Murray-Darling system. So people have got to understand that it's the whole ecosystem of the Murray-Darling that's collapsing. It's not just a little part of a river, it's your whole ecosystem. And so for the fishermen, please, ladies and gentlemen, get involved. If you can go onto our Facebook page, which is Tulano Station Facebook, we get about 100,000 Australians who are actually looking in each week to see what's happening. We try and keep people abreast of the corruption that's killing your river. We're not getting any help from 7, 9 and 10. It's only Channel 2 who are doing everything to keep it in the public knowledge. But please, ladies and gentlemen, your worst environmental disaster is happening as we speak. It's up to you to stand up and start taking notice. Please, thank you for your time.
And see, I'm from Melbourne, and us people down Melbourne wouldn't even know what's happening up here, Rob.
It's kept in the dark. The press has been shut down to us. I was speaking to top executives within Channel 7 in Adelaide, and I said, worst environmental disaster. They turned around and said, nothing to see there, Rob. The journalists in Australia have been silenced. If they ask questions, they lose their job. It's that simple. So it's only Channel 2 who are trying their guts out. There's another Four Corners report coming up in a few weeks. And Channel 2 is getting raided by the police. Now that just shows you how the corruption is so bad in Australia that if you ask questions, if you tell people in Australia what's going on, they're getting crucified by asking questions. So they're keeping quiet. So it's only Channel 2 who are there to put the voice out here of this totally man-made disaster, and yet Australians aren't aware of it. So please, ladies and gentlemen, it's only through social media that we're getting traction. I held a fish about 3 months ago. 10 million people on the planet saw me and a mate, Dick Arnold, with a dead cod. That resonated throughout the world, but our government is silent in all regards and trying to hide it. Our Prime Minister hasn't been here, none of the National Party, none of the government has been here. They've just let this die, and they're hoping that you Australians don't see what's actually happening.
We've found a fair few fish, like fish of a lifetime that'll be over a metre, and like we've travelled 600 k's on this trip, but we spend thousands and thousands of dollars every year chasing cod. And you can see this here, this is the deepest hole that we've found, so we've been camping here for the last 2 nights. And how long do you think this will last, this water?
Maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So the problem is you've got all the cod who are clambering to stay alive, and they're just collapsing. And there's what's intriguing with cod is they're not going to recover. The way their genetics works, they really do need this country to stay alive. And so the whole Murray-Darling is going to lose golden perch, and cod, and the only thing that's going to be left is carp. I mean, this is the worst disaster in our country's history, and the press are deadly silent about it.